squad. There is a sea change from what happened in 2021 to 2022. Remember, 2021 you had seen stalwarts of the T20 game like Chris Gayle, Kieron Pollard, Dwayne Bravo and the rest. However, 1 year since then, there has been a lot of changes. Dwayne Bravo has retired. Kieron Pollard has retired from international cricket. Chris Gayle is no longer in contention. And that is the reason why we are seeing a lot of changes in the T20 side for 2022. But there have been some big name exclusions, which may not be surprising, but surprising at the same time. So straight away, let us get to the 2022 World T20 squad for the West Indies. The T20 World Cup 2022 squad will be Nicholas Pooran will be the captain. Rovman Powell will be his deputy. Others, there are two uncapped players. Yannick Carrier is one of them. Johnson Charles, Sheldon Cottrell, Shimron Hetmyer, Jason Holder, Akil Hussain, Alzari Joseph, Brandon King. Evan Lewis comes back. Remember, Evan Lewis has not been playing that much of international cricket for the last couple of years, for the last year, because there were some fitness issues related to him. However, he's come back, he's back in fitness and he's included in the side. Kyle Mayers, Obed McCoy, Raymond Reefer, another uncapped player, and there is also Odean Smith. Remember, Odean Smith for Punjab Kings had a kind of okayish IPL. He was stoned around in the death quite often, but in the international series that he played, he really did well against New Zealand. So compare it with 2021. Chris Gayle, Evan Lewis, Shimron Hetmyer, Lendl Simmons. Even Lendl Simmons is not there anymore. Nicholas Pooran, Andre Fletcher, Kieron Pollard, Andre Russell, Dwayne Bravo, Roston Chase, Ravi Rampal. Even Ravi Rampal is not in contention now. O'Shane Thomas, Hayden Walsh Jr., Jason Holder, Akil Hussain. So, among the new guys also, there is no Hayden Walsh Jr. Akil Hussain has kept his place, but at the same time, lot of chopping and changes. But the two major names that I am going to point out, no Andre Russell, no Sunil Narine. Look at even 2021, Andre Russell was there, but Sunil Narine wasn't there. Why have the selectors ignored Andre Russell and Sunil Narine? As I said, no Andre Russell, Sunil Narine, Yannick Carrier, Raymond Reefer, two of the new players have been included in the side, and Evan Lewis returns. Now, Desmond Haynes, who's the chief selector of the West Indies, when announcing the T20 World Cup squad, had a very interesting comment on both Andre Russell and Sunil Narine. On Andre Russell, he said, "We have just decided to move on." He also said that we are not convinced with the form that Andre Russell is currently showing in T20 cricket, and so we are looking for someone new. But this comment, "we have decided to move on," perhaps is an indication that maybe Russell does not feature in any of West Indies' T20 international tours. That is a big statement to make. On Sunil Narine, he said seemed he was not interested. There was no notice given that Sunil Narine would be available for the ICC World T20. And these are the two simple reasons why both Narine and Russell have been excluded. Russell did not have the form, and Desmond Haynes, the chief selector, believed that he did not give the Windies selectors the confidence. On Sunil Narine, he said that he did not inform the selectors of his availability, and on clear hindsight, it suggests that Sunil Narine is just not interested in playing for the West Indies. Perhaps. But was it right to exclude Andre Russell and Sunil Narine? Well, there are two sides of the story. Russell in IPL 2022 averaged 37 and had a strike rate of 174 for the Kolkata Knight Riders. He also took 17 IPL wickets. But if you look at his recent CPL records in 2022, he's not performed. Narine's IPL economy rate, on the other hand, in 2022 was 5.57. But remember, Sunil Narine is not a wicket-taking bowler as he was prior to remodeling his action. So Sunil Narine is now much more of a containing bowler. Russell's average and strike rate, as well as his IPL all-round ability, perhaps made that a very surprising decision. He was in form. But when you look at international cricket, in 2021 T20, he averaged 18, but his strike rate phenomenally was 170. But the major bone of contention with Andre Russell was that he did not play any international cricket since the 2021 World T20. And on top of that, in that same year in 2021, he took 13 wickets, which suggested his batting and bowling was looking up, maybe not the average, but the strike rate. But because from 2021 to 2022, he did not play any form of international T20Is, that is why the selectors decided to ensure that give fresh players a new chance. Playing from one World Cup to the other probably does not fit into West Indies' selection dynamics, and that is why both Russell and Narine have been excluded. Although Narine did not even feature in the 2021 World T20. Now there are two uncapped players, two new players I may say, in the West Indies squad, Yannick Carrier and Raymond Reifer. Raymond Reifer is the son of former player Floyd Reifer. Floyd Reifer was one of the players in the West Indies team in the early part of the 2000s, 90s. Reifer, he has come into the West Indies side purely on his performance in the ongoing CPL, where he averages 57 and a strike rate of 143 for the Jamaica Talawas. For the Talawas, Raymond Reifer has been in prime form, and that is why the selectors probably got the confidence that maybe he does fit into the scheme of big hitting middle order batsmen for the T20 World Cup for the Windies. Yannick Carrier, now this is a very interesting case. 30-year-old from Trinidad, he has played only 4 T20Is and 3 ODIs, all during the recent series against New Zealand. But it is very interesting, very little international experience, but he's been fast-tracked into the Windies squad. Raymond Reifer, on the other hand, has played 3 tests and 5 ODIs. With so little experience, was it right for the selectors to pick 2 new players ahead of the T20 World Cup? That is a very brave and very, very interesting development if you have to look at it. Now, what is the Windies T20 fixture? Remember, the 2-time World T20 champions will have to play the qualifier along with Zimbabwe and Sri Lanka. So, West Indies are in Group B of the T20 World Cup qualifier, and their tournament begins from October 17th onwards. West Indies will take on Scotland in Hobart versus Zimbabwe on October 19th, also in Hobart. All the 3 qualifiers will happen at the Belrive Oval in Hobart. And the final qualifying, if they do qualify in the top 2, will be against Ireland on October 21st. So West Indies have announced the squad. Today, remember, is the deadline for most of the teams to submit their World T20 squads. Pakistan, Sri Lanka, New Zealand have not yet submitted. The other small teams will announce it, but apart from that, Australia, England, South Africa, India have all announced their team. Now the West Indies join it. So thank you so much, folks, for listening to the special live. We'll be back with more updates. Remember, Pakistan are scheduled to announce their side at 4:30 p.m. IST. So one hopes that we get that squad as well. Thank you so much for listening to this live. We'll be back with more updates from Sports Today. Press the like, comment and share button. We are also there on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, folks. Bye-bye.